Christmas evokes snowfall, warm beverages of every variety, and a fireplace to share amongst family members in a cozy home that smells of winter spices and crackling wood. Even if your Christmas doesn't include these specific things, we all gather together, or individually, to ritualistically watch a movie fitting of the holiday season. The weighted stockings for the most beloved holiday viewings are already far filled, stretching back to classics such as It's a Wonderful Life, and generally fizzling out a little after The Polar Express. The filmmakers behind these flicks traverse the snowy trenches, seeking their star placed atop the tree. Most Christmas films are made with the hope of becoming someone's yearly tradition, but few achieve their due recognition, as they have not been marinated in time. Some due to the lack of the modern movie-going audiences, and others the absence of relevance amongst the cultural zeitgeist. Christmas movies wield nostalgia. The familiar glow of chaotic family dynamics, odd traditions, and lore to be shared with the following generations. The movies that manage to break into this threshold of becoming annual reruns have been almost unanimously decided by the masses, becoming archived in the households of families celebrating nationwide. I could name a few Christmas movies that I think are perhaps overlooked and in need of a chance just like a toy from Misfit Island. I would like to share with you 6 flicks that I think you should give a chance to become a part of your yearly holiday watch list.
I just did what the map said. I made 4 lefts.
4 lefts is a circle, you idiot!
Are you sure?
We're starting off this list with the oldest film on it. I think there aren't as many holiday movies from this time that are even considered underrated due to the fact that this is when the genre was in the business of putting out classic after classic. Just 2 years after Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, 1 year after The Nightmare Before Christmas, and being released the same year as The Santa Claus, in which they shared a box office, Trapped in Paradise is one of those films that I think was simply overlooked due to its release date, pitting it against a holiday film giant. This film stars Nick Cage, Dana Carvey, and Jon Lovitz as a trio of brothers that are stuck in the very town they just robbed on Christmas Eve. With all sides of the law against them, the brothers' attempts of escape only ramp up in the levels of zaniness and hilarity as the winter night closes in. If you like Nick Cage, you'll like this movie. He is extremely over the top in the exact ways Nick Cage fans want him to be.
And the whole time, you stand there with this who me expression on your face!
His seemingly inordinate outbursts only add to his characterization. It's the visual manifestation of the brewing point he is brought to consistently thanks to his brothers and his own flaws throughout the picture. Truly, this movie plays like one long Saturday Night Live skit in the best possible way. I say that due to the involvement of the SNL veterans, Dana Carvey and Jon Lovitz. The bank robbery sequence alone feels like something straight from Studio 8H. Lovitz plays his typical shtick that always works, while Carvey gives a bizarre, Saurian take that is so weird yet still doesn't feel out of the realm of this world because of Nick Cage's insane performance.
Can we stop and get some ring dings and milk?
Ring dings and milk?
Ring dings and milk.
Oh, yeah, then we can get some balloons, we can go to the puppet show. What are you, 2 years old?
Due to the fact that this was written and directed by George Gallo, the same writer as Midnight Run, the screenplay really works for me, specifically with this particular group of actors. It appears that everyone is having a lot of fun with each and every bit, which makes it that much more entertaining.
Just quiet down, my little one, and call me Dad.
Brad, I'm not trying to be your father. You already got one of those. I'm just hoping for a chance to be your friend.
You were my friend, Daryl. You were my best friend. We grew up together, we rode bikes together, we used to smell each other's hands.
Coming from a divorced household myself, Four Christmases really hits home on what it's like to travel from house to house on an already stressful Christmas holiday. The gimmick of this movie is very innovative in comparison to many other films. With so many successful takes already established, it can be difficult to create a new concept that truly stands on its own, but Seth Gordon's Four Christmases does so very firmly. This movie really functions as a road trip comedy, which is one of my favorite subgenres, but it's not about the destination or the drive. Its real focus is on the relationship between Reese Witherspoon's Kate and Vince Vaughn's Brad. Though the comedy at times is hyperbolic,
Did Jags a projectile?
this movie focuses on the familiar dynamics and the real stresses that can make these annual events problematic for a lot of us. We've all been there before. Spending a certain holiday with a relative you would rather not be with. This movie isn't afraid to comment on what that's like. It's honest, it's hilarious, and it's romantic. It's one of the only Christmas movies to not feature any snow at all, but still manages to keep the complete spirit of the holiday alive and present. Each location distinct in its design, function, and theme within the narrative. Because of the supporting cast of heavy hitters such as Robert Duvall, Mary Steenburgen, Sissy Spacek, Jon Voight, Jon Favreau, Kristen Chenoweth, and Tim McGraw, the talent within this project effectively makes each of these environments spring to life, instantly throwing us into the family's dynamics scene to scene. Even though reportedly Witherspoon and Vaughn did not get along while filming the movie, their professionalism really shines through, because the best part of this movie is the arc their relationship goes on throughout this absolute roller coaster of a holiday.
This is what you dripped on me.
Oh, wax.
No, after that. It's brown.
Okay, make this stop, please.
Oh, chocolate.
Oh, no, before that, after the wax.
Oh, the syrup.
Yes!
Yes. Way sticky, dude. I would not recommend that.
I'm his wife, you dumb bitch.
Who you calling a dumb bitch?
You dumb young silly dead. She got the gun. Lonnie, if you're gonna bring bitches in here, bring a smart.
I love a good Christmas ensemble film, and Almost Christmas delivers on its premise on all accounts, because it reflects the many levels of interaction and interweaving threads that one actually experiences amidst their own family during the holiday season. The Christmas holiday typically requires all hands on deck. It's one of the few times of the year when everyone is expected to get along and show up due to the annual traditional obligations, like buying gifts for others and showing up to your family's house. Sometimes personal feelings and self-interest can get in the way of these things, but for the dysfunctional Meyer family, not showing up for their father Walter, played by Danny Glover, is not an option this year. After the very recent loss of their mother, the Meyers try their best to find their own weight to pull and make it through the holidays without the very woman who always made it possible.
You know, I saw her make those recipes a million times. I should know them. I just always thought she'd be here.
She is here. She's in every pot, in every pan, every cabinet, and every drawer. We are all standing on holy ground. This is the Church of Grace.
This movie has an all-star cast of comedians that each fit into the narrative in tight, meaningful ways. This impeccable ensemble also includes Gabrielle Union, Kimberly Elise, J.B. Smoove, Monique, Romani Malco, Jesse T. Usher, and more. Upon rewatch, this movie never fails to make me laugh out loud. It is genuinely hysterical. Monique's Aunt May is given a number of lines that are simply iconic. If you know, you know. I find myself often comparing Almost Christmas a lot to one of my all-time favorite movies, Love Actually. Though they are different in the sense that Love Actually is compiled of different stories that happen to overlap, while Almost Christmas is ultimately one narrative, it is the only movie that manages to really do the Love Actually formula successful since the original. What makes this movie strong is the love that is felt for Mom. Grace Meyer is a character who isn't actually in the movie, but due to how each character speaks about her, it really paints a whole picture. Glover and company make Grace the beating heart of this movie, even though she is omnipresent. It serves as a great reminder of why we all get together in the first place to celebrate the holidays as a family, and how we should appreciate the chaos and convenient problem of everyone actually being around and together.
All right, it's canceled.
Clay, I mean it.
Me too, Carol. Guys, the holiday mixer is canceled.
Yes. Hey, it's canceled, Clay.
The thing is not happening at all.
I'm not messing with you. Hey, stop doing that.
Christmas spirit was in the air in 2016, because this next film was released less than a month after our last entry. I love a good mix-up in terms of holiday movies. Adding a Yuletide flair to any story always piques my interest. Like when a movie asked, what if we did this, but Christmas? My answer will always be, yes please. Office Christmas Party does so by including the latest trend of the early 2010s Rager party movies, but by setting it during the Christmas season. With the title this blunt, you should know what to expect going into this movie. But I would say I was continuously shocked by the scope of this story and where it continued to head. Jason Bateman's Josh and Olivia Munn's Tracy help TJ Miller's Clay, in an attempt to save his company's branch by throwing the greatest work Christmas party ever, in an effort to land a major client while doing it all behind the back of Clay's sister and company CEO Ice Queen Jennifer Aniston's Carol. By having actual stakes and the movie not being about partying just for fun, I think this movie surprisingly carries weight that it probably wasn't even aware of being able to. Bateman and Munn are grounded enough characters that are serviceable protagonists, but the strong comedic performances from T.J. Miller, Kate McKinnon, and Jillian Bell really provide the moments that had potential of becoming holiday cinema iconography. This clip of Jillian Bell's Trina already is a famous meme that I see used repeatedly all the time.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Unfortunately, out of every film on this list, Office Christmas Party is definitely the most dated. It's 2016 in the most extreme ways, but as someone who looks at that era with fond memories, I enjoy that aspect. However, I can see it getting on future audiences' nerves. This movie actually needed the Christmas twist more than any other aspect. By seeing these characters' insecurities, loneliness, and determination in direct coordination to the holidays and their careers, it only heightened the entertainment to sky-rise levels.
Watch this, Greg. Dean, clear, I'm coming around.
My two favorite Christmas movies are Home Alone and Home Alone 2: Lost in New York, which naturally makes me a fan of the 2017 horror dark comedy Better Watch Out. The movie's comparisons to Home Alone are very intentional due to its meta-commentary towards the violence that takes place in the McAllister household. Better Watch Out is to Home Alone what Scream is to Halloween. It's witty, it's dark, and still manages to put you in the Christmas spirit. However, this isn't just a bare-bones holiday home invasion horror movie. With the right perception, this modern cult classic has far more thematically and narratively to it than meets the eye. Babysitter Ashley, played by Olivia de Jong, is forced to defend the Lerner house from intruders while their parents are away. As a major horror fan, I can confidently say that Ashley is one of the great final girls of the genre. She is vulnerable without ever being weak, strong and compelling, a crucial centerpiece that is easy to get behind. Equally as riveting and impactful as de Jong is Levi Miller as Luke. This is simply one of the great child actor performances across all of film. He is captivating with every choice made. The movie simply wouldn't work without a young actor of his caliber. This cast and crew of mainly Australians absolutely nailed the essential elements of an American Christmas. As tense and entertaining as this movie is, there is some pretty outstanding commentary placed throughout it that is definitely worth a watch of your own to witness. Out of all the movies on this list, this would be my highest recommendation. So you better watch out. I mean it. Watch it.
I love this place.
And there she was, glistening in all her gray plastic glory. A maze of rubber wiring and electronic intelligence so advanced it was deemed not a video game, but an 8-bit entertainment system.
Our final and most recent entry on the list is a modern take on A Christmas Story. By no means is 8-Bit Christmas a remake of the beloved holiday classic, but it's an intelligent use of a familiar template to tell an updated version of an important story that all children should understand about the holidays. When you're a kid and you want something so badly, your entire existence and day-to-day tasks all revolve around obtaining that said item. 8-Bit Christmas tells a nostalgic and relatable story set in the 1980s about 10-year-old Jake Doyle's relentless pursuit of obtaining the Super Nintendo by any means necessary. Even though this movie is often compared to A Christmas Story, that's really only through the structure and holiday presentation. More than anything, this movie resembles the Diary of a Wimpy Kid film trilogy to me. Maybe it's because Steve Zahn is once again playing a father, but even tonally and through the humor, the kids in this movie feel like a Jeff Kinney creation in the most charming way. This movie uses its top-billed star in a pretty brilliant fashion as well. The 1980s narrative is bookended by adult Jake Doyle, played by Neil Patrick Harris, who is relaying the exaggerated and fluctuating narrative to his daughter. The movie executes this decision just right by doing an exemplary job of tying in the 1980s message into a 2020s package that is suitable for any demographic watching. As fun and silly as this movie is, its ending terrifically creeps up on you in a way you wouldn't quite expect, which makes its final moments hit even harder. Christmas movies are mainly made with children in mind. If this movie was made even 20 years ago, I could already see it being considered a modern classic.
You think there are rules here, Doyle? There are no rules. That Nintendo's mine. I've already sold 67 Reeves. 2 people? Your mom?
What underrated Christmas movies do you like to revisit every year? What should have made the list? And how do you consider if a movie is underrated or not? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I appreciate you all for watching. Hope you all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday. Thanks for visiting The Lost World.